doing another episode in the Van Aalsburg house. I keep calling them episodes, we're decorating. This is what we're doing. Maybe it's an episode. I do need you to know that I am recording this audio on New Year's Eve because I am. So you're gonna hear fireworks. It's gonna be very festive. It'll be fine. So today we're decorating Mathieu Van Aalsburg's bedroom. He is actually the heir to Barthélemy and Amélie. I mean, not Amélie, doesn't really have a title, but whatever. He's next up in line. But the interesting thing about Mathieu is he's a romance sim. He's really interested in science, and his sub-hobby is weather. So yes, he is that person at a party who will talk about the weather completely without shame. His traits are perfectionist, virtuoso, worrywart, dislikes children, and barren. I struggled a lot with whether or not barren should be a trait in my... It used to not be. It used to be that I would roll for everybody's fertility, but it just became a lot, and it didn't feel as random because I couldn't get the right rolls that I wanted. So it's now a trait, and it makes me happy to have it as a trait, because everything else was annoying me, but I still wanted some element of infertility in my game because it is a real problem and it exists. It's always existed. We should acknowledge it. So yeah, that'll be interesting with him being the heir to the family when he not only doesn't like children, but he cannot have children. So I think that goes very well with him being a worrywart because he's probably a little worried. His likes as well, in terms of what he's interested in, decoratively speaking, I don't know, his style choices, I guess. He likes the color black, he likes stone, floral, and then the descriptor term was unusual. So I'm using, you can see kind of a mixed set. I think it's all from Elder Scrolls, but don't quote me on that because I honestly don't remember, but it's kind of like a woody, stony looking thing, and the whole set's really cool, and I don't get used to that much, but the bed and that bookshelf are from that set. I don't know if I keep the bookshelf, but yeah, I was struggling with colors because black is hard with furniture, especially when most of the stone stuff I have is shades of gray or brown. I picked out those pedestal things because I think they fit unusual very well, but there was too many colors. It was bothering me. The desk was light gray, the bookshelf was gray, the end tables are a darker gray, and then the bed was brown, and I was trying to find a chair, and it was just driving me nuts that it all was so inconsistent in terms of tone. I'm usually not that particular about it, especially because in medieval times, things happen, things aren't gonna match, but it was bothering me. I went with the chair that kind of matched the bed. Yeah, still not super happy with it. Also, thinking on it now, I don't know if I put that chair on a walkthrough block, but I will need to so that the whole room is accessible. But yeah, I think he's going to be very interesting. I did have him in the last version of Adiran. He was a toddler at that point. And some more family fun tidbits is he actually has an older half-brother who was the heir at one point, until his father basically disowned his wife and children by her because she cheated on him with his father. So Jeremy Oriel is his name. He also has a half-sister. Her name is escaping me at the moment, but sister as well. And then obviously his dad's former wife is Azaria Oriel, who is now the prioress of some kind of basically my Artemis nuns. Still haven't quite decided what term I want to use for her because it's a little bit different than my St. Persephone nuns, in that it's definitely more nunny than that, if I may say. Yeah, this is me struggling with bedding because again, floral but black but unusual. I liked that Jonesy bed that I picked, or blanket that I picked, but I think I had to changing it because I couldn't find bedding that really looked nice with it. Yeah, I'd change it. And you'll notice, well, you can't notice it here, but if you looked at him in the beginning, he is definitely wearing that cupcakey suit with the bees on it because I needed to use it. I needed to. It was very important. And again, it should go with the Zhangs, but he's wearing it, and I regret nothing. I really like it, okay? And bees were very important in Adiran back in the day. I don't know why. I just really like the beehives, and they're very pretty, and so I just got a little bit obsessed. Kind of how I got obsessed with the sheep. I'm still obsessed with the sheep, but the bees were kind of like that for me for a while. So here I'm just picking like decorative items. He's a Taurus, so he is kind of neat, and I see him as being a little bit fussy and like not liking a lot of clutter. He just seems like he's not a very pleasant young man, which is hilarious that he's a romance sim. Like, if he was not a romance sim, I could see him like never getting married and just kind of being a curmudgeon, but there is that added pressure of him getting married. I don't know if he's like, I don't know what he's gonna do at this point. He is a young teen. It's not like he's an older teen where that's like really, really important that he figures that out now, but it is something I'm thinking of. And he also, just with all his traits and everything, I don't know, but he kind of strikes me as someone who's possibly asexual, which I don't think I have any asexual sims in the neighborhood currently. So that could be interesting as well, and it's not because he dislikes children or anything, he just, I don't know, he gives me a vibe. Kind of like how Cesare gave me a vibe that Cesare was not male. Like, it's just, sometimes you're playing a sim and they just, you feel a certain way about them. And that's kind of how I feel about him. So it could be that he chooses never to get married in that case because he doesn't want to. Or he could get married, but it's like a partnership. Like, he has a lot of paths that he could go down. Because there's also the whole luck baby thing in my neighborhood. Like, technically he doesn't have to sire any children. He could adopt a luck baby from a St. Persephone nun, and that child would be considered not only legitimate, but in the line of succession for the title, which I can't remember if they're barons or not. Maybe an earl? I don't know. I could look at it, it's literally like right next to me on a different screen, but I don't want to. So you can see I'm just putting some different pictures on the walls. I don't know why I decided to go with like the boar's heads, but I like them. I try not to get to like everything's perfectly symmetrical, but I'm like that, and I should just accept that I'm like that. I love that I can use this rug because it's black and floral, which are two of his things, and so I was very happy with it. I didn't know what I was going to do for decorative items, to be perfectly honest, because I don't know how you show he's interested in weather via items. I think I ended up using a telescope. Like it sits in the desk and there's like a box. And I might have actually put another telescope in his room, I can't remember, but yeah, it was the struggle was real because a lot of the things that he's interested in, like, they just don't fit. I do like that he's a virtuoso because his mother is so interested in music and it's like a huge part of her life, and so I like that she shares that with her oldest son. It might not be his favorite thing to play music, but he is naturally gifted when it comes to it, which I really enjoy. Like, it's little things that, even though they're randomized, fit really well, which is why I like the randomization of basically everything for my Sims, because it picks things that I wouldn't have picked, and it defines their characters in ways that I wouldn't have expected. Like, from what I remember of Mathieu as a toddler, he was just very cranky all the time, and he had that little wispy baby toddler hair that comes with base game, I think. Like, he was just a cranky little child, and I loved it. I was very for it. I don't know kind of how he would have developed if I decided to pick everything about him, but instead, now I've got this, like, worried young man who's kind of interested in romance, but maybe not interested in the physical aspects of it. He's gonna find out that he can't have children eventually, and that's gonna factor in hugely to how he lives his life, because, okay, well, he has to have a child if he's going to be the heir to the family. What is he gonna do? Is he gonna, you know, all I can think of the word is abdicate, but, like, gracefully bow out and let, like, his younger brother Aubin take over? What about his older half-brother Jeremy? Is that's someone that he would reach out to and say, you know what? I'm not cool with what my dad did. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, give this back to you. Like, it's definitely gonna be interesting playing. I don't know when it comes to Jeremy. I don't know how much the Van Aalsburg children from Amelie actually know. I feel like it's one of those things that's like an open secret. Like, it happened so long ago that everybody in the town knows about it. So it's not like fresh new gossip. So people take it for granted that everybody already knows. So there's a good chance that none of the children in this household currently know what happened. Like, they might hear things, but it would be like little offhand comments. It wouldn't necessarily be a full rehashing of it, because again, it's not new gossip, so they would accidentally hear somebody talking about it unless something happened, like Azaria died, or, you know, Jeremy getting married might have stirred it up a little bit, but I don't think that people are talking about it because it's old news. It's a little bit boring, so they're talking about other interesting things. But he's got to find out eventually, so I haven't quite decided if he knows or if it's just more of this, like, they know something's up, but they don't know what. Like, maybe his dad makes comments about the Artemis nuns. Who knows? Yeah, this is me. This is my process, as I've said before, is pick out all the stuff I think can apply and chuck it to the side and then throw things in the room. Problem with him, again, is weather. Like, that is the hardest sub-hobby. But I also love it because it means he's probably very boring. Like, he's the boring person that talks about the weather all the time, but it's not because he's awkward and doesn't know what to say. He genuinely wants to talk about the weather and wants to compare it and can sit and talk about the rain and snow and the temperature for hours. I love that for him. I very much support that. I think it's hilarious. I can just imagine, like, and he's being forced to, like, interact with young ladies of his same station, and he's just like, well, she is gonna learn about the ozone layer. I don't know. Try to think of what medieval people really thought about the weather and what they knew, because that is not a special interest of mine, so I don't really know too much about the history of weather forecasting and stuff. I know that a farmer's almanac has existed for a very long time in one shape or another. Maybe he's got a farmer. I should have given him a farmer's almanac. Almanac? Almanac? I don't know. That's a weird word. I'm super tired. It's literally 11:41 p.m. right now. I was not going to stay up for the new year, but my dog is absolutely terrified of the fireworks. And I gave her some Benadryl because the vet said I could, and so she's kind of tired, but yeah, no. There's no chance that I'm sleeping while people are setting off fireworks, because she will not allow it. Cats are pretty cool about it, though. Last year, my little chupacabra cat would hiss and growl at the fireworks, which was very entertaining, but he's not doing that currently. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of fireworks. Entirely because of how pets react and, you know, how stressful it is sometimes as somebody with a little bit of PTSD to hear a bunch of loud bangs. It's not great. But, yeah, people are gonna do it. I honestly, yeah, I'm almost done. I just looked at the thing, like, this is not a heavily decorated room just because he's just not that kind of person. He would not want a very heavily decorated space. It's not Mathieu. Matthew's vibe. His name is spelled like in a French way, so I always want to call him Mathieu, even though that is not the French way. It's just my brain going, let's just say it this way. Let's just do it. So yeah, we're just about done. I see spyglasses there. So thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, I'm hoping to post more in the new year, but I hope you guys had a wonderful new year and a wonderful beginning to 2022. And I am going to see you in the next one.